June 9, 2012, a historic day for Ethiopia and the rest of Africa. Ethiopian religious leaders from the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, the Evangelical Church Fellowship of Ethiopia, the Mekane Yesus Church, the Catholic Church, and the Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Council came together to raise their voice against the evil that's covering the entire world and is now trying to claim the whole of Africa. More than 2,000 people from all walks of life, government officials, professionals, artists, and the like gathered to denounce homosexuality in the new African Union Hall. The historic meeting was opened by a short word of prayer by His Holiness, the late Paulus, Patriarch of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. This was followed by a religious song by an invited singer. Dr. Siyum Antonios, Executive Director of United for Life Ethiopia, a non-governmental organization and organizer of the conference, delivered his presentation entitled Homosexuality, a Human Rights Issue or a Pinnacle of Immorality, in which he clearly depicted the threats by Western powers to impose homosexuality on developing countries using aid as a means. Ethiopia shall be a graveyard for homosexuality, but not its breeding ground. Ethiopia shall be a place where people from all other nations will be coming to, seeking healing from their homosexual lifestyles. Ethiopia shall present itself again as a beacon of hope and an emblem of freedom by leading the fight against homosexuality in the continent of Africa, making Africa also a graveyard for homosexuality. The reaction of the participants was exuberant. A spectacular part of the meeting was the moment where a homosexual man who has started his journey to freedom gave his testimony on how he entered his previous lifestyle after he was sexually abused by his own uncle. This was a very emotional experience to participants, as some were audibly crying. Following that was the historic speech by His Holiness, the late Paulus, Patriarch of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. He started by saying that he was appointed by all religious leaders to address the issue on their behalf, as there was no need to waste time on their defeated agenda. He clearly stated that their response to the imposition by Western leaders to accept homosexuality as a human rights issue was a stern no. It's a sin and against the law of God, an abomination and a very strange act on a land which kept the law of God for centuries. The round of applause by participants was non-stop after each sentence. He then went on to read the resolution of the Ethiopian religious leaders, which clearly reflected the stand of the Ethiopian people as a whole. That historic meeting ended by all religious leaders giving a press release to local and foreign journalists.
Do you think that homosexuality is on the rise?
There were local and foreign reactions to this meeting. Some websites run by gay rights groups also brought it out as headlines. One clear message which went out to all homosexual rights groups, both locally and abroad, was that Ethiopia shall never be a breeding ground for this evil called homosexuality. Ethiopia is a lost battle for homosexuals who are trying to control the rest of Africa through Ethiopia. Ethiopia is one of the 4 strategic gates of Africa, and we the people are the gatekeepers. Gates are entry points either for good or bad. Therefore, we Ethiopians have a huge responsibility in protecting not only our nation, but our continent Africa, and the time has come for us now to test and prove the commitment. And by the grace of God, we shall fulfill this commitment and make our nation, the continent as a whole, a graveyard for this abominable behavior. We Ethiopians make the call to all nations to follow suit in denouncing this evil before it sets its dirty in their soils. God bless Ethiopia. God bless Africa.